Hey everybody, welcome to The Warp. I'm Jack Rita. In this video, I'm going to showcase some of the additional alt-timeline aliens that I've created for my Tabletop Simulator edition of the game, as well as some aliens that I haven't really tweaked them enough that they really would constitute alt-timelines, just cleaned up some of the language, and so I wanted to show a few of those as well. So let's actually start off with some of the cleaned up ones. So here we have, and as you can see, that I've marked them with the little warp symbol there in terms of the origin, where you would see CI if it was cosmic incursion or CE for cosmic eons. Here's just a little warp symbol. So we've got Warhawk, and this was an alien. This was based on an alien that I created that they did publish in Cosmic Conflict, if I'm not mistaken, and it had a couple of little minor issues, I think. So it deserved to be tweaked a little bit here. So you have the power to attack as a main player. When your opponent reveals a negotiate card, you may use this power to change it to an attack 0. So now it's optional, and I think this makes Warhawk a lot more flexible and interesting. And then furthermore, as a main player, when you reveal a negotiate card, you may use it to change it into a morph card. And as a main player, if both you and your opponent reveal negotiates, you may use this power to change both into attack 0s. And then we have this here: if an effect creates an infinite loop, the revealed cards are considered to be attack 0s. So that should clear up. It's Cosmic Encounter, so anything is possible. This may still create some issues, and feel free to share those in the comments. But this, I think, is a better version of Warhawk. It's a lot more fun. It takes care of a few ambiguities and some situations that players would occasionally find themselves in, where they're like, "What do we do?" And timing rule maybe doesn't really work. So I like this better. I always enjoyed the Warhawk, and the version that was published was not exactly like the one that I had done, but this one's still better. So that's what this Warhawk does. It's almost enough. This probably could have been an alt timeline one, just because it's got that change from being a mandatory effect to optional is big enough. But I've kept it that way. So that's Warhawk. Here we've got the Claw. And this one, I always loved this alien. It's great, but it does have the ambiguity about replacing your claw. So you're choosing in setup a non-negotiate card to be your starting claw, and then what I've done here is that I've included some information here to help you. You may choose a non-negotiate card from your hand as your new claw, replacing any current claw. So that's the big thing with this version of the claw, is that it lets you know that you can't just get out of that. Saboteur is a bigger change. So you still got the trap tokens, and I like that idea. I like that effect. 1 trap, 2 decoy per player, including yourself. And you're going to place these face down adjacent to or between any planet. So it's not associated with a specific planet. It is between them. And so anytime ships land on a planet with your token next to it. So what that means is if you've got a token here, right here, between these 2 planets, that means both of these planets are potentially booby-trapped. And so when somebody is bringing a ship onto here, you could have a token here and you could have a token there, and you decide which one you're going to reveal, and that's going to be the effect. So if it's a decoy, you're like, oh, it's a decoy. And they're like, oh, great, I'm going to put another ship here. You could reveal this one, and then they're like, that one was the bomb, and then kaboom, or the trap, I guess is really what we're saying here. So, all those go away. So this, I think, is a much better effect, because honestly, with the number of tokens that you have, it was very easy to avoid them. That's just the truth. You could easily avoid them, but now it's the same number of tokens, but you're affecting more. So with 2 tokens in this system, I'm affecting 4 planets, whereas 2 before was only going to be 2 planets. So I think this is a great change for Saboteur. It's just the way that we play it, but the sheet in TTS at least has the updated language. So I recommend that if you are playing with Saboteur, that this is how you play it, and you tell them I said so. Then we have Pentaform. So not a major change here with Pentaform. So if we take a look here, you're going to draw the 5 flares from the flare deck, and you're going to take the matching aliens to be your life stages. but really what you're doing is you're making a stack of them. So you're going to, and this is just how we've played it. So let's say that these were 3 of the aliens, and they have game set up. So these wouldn't actually be the aliens, but you are choosing these, and you're putting them in an order. And so it's mostly just, I just found it with this whole idea of you've got a line of alien sheets on the table in front of you, and this one is slightly under it, and then it's moving around. I found that to be a little bit absurd and just not really, the table space is already challenging sometimes in a big high player count game of Cosmic with other variants. I got all these play mats to help organize stuff, but still, the real estate, it's not ideal. And so this is just much better. And in fact, the way that we do it is, I don't really have it on here. I kind of struggled with, should I include that in here? And I'm starting to lean that way. I might change it. But this whole idea of the other players don't need to know what's in your stack until that you've evolved into that alien. So I'm going to probably make that change for Peniform. You let me know in the comments, do you like that? But that's the idea, is that you're secretly making your stack, and you're going to have the Peniform next to it, but then you're going to be like, all right, great. Warhawk is my stage 1. So if while I'm at 0 on the scoring track, this is who the Peniform looks like. And when I move to 1, then I would go to the next one. And again, it wouldn't be a claw because it has game set up, but whichever the next alien is in the stack. So those are the tweaked, just minorly tweaked for the most part. Here, and this one probably could have been a minor tweak as well. It's kind of ironic that I'm starting with this one. But the Gambler. So one of the things is I actually updated the art a little bit. I gave him a little cap, like some kind of a dealer and at the casino. And, of course, he's holding a card. So he just looks more like a gambler to me. Here, you'll notice there's no restriction. So that was what I was trying to do with the wording. So after alliances are made, if any, you may use this power to keep your encounter card face down once selected. When your card would be revealed, state what it is, lying if you like. This card may not be looked at by the end of the player unless challenged. If your opponent does not challenge your claim, conclude the encounter and as if the statement were true, and place the encounter card face down on the bottom of the appropriate deck. If your opponent challenges your claim, reveal your card. If you lied, lose your ships. If you told the truth. And so it's not a lot here, but what you're doing is you're making your statement when this is after alliances are made. So it's kind of before Oracle. So Oracle doesn't really get to see what's going on here. And I think the idea is that the sorcerer doesn't get to look at it either. This card may not be looked at by any other player unless challenged. So they can switch. It's no big deal. But it's still going to be what you said it was. So that might work out. It might not. But with the sorcerer in play, it's a little bit different. So this is one that's still kind of in flux. And I had a few different ideas for tinkering with Gambler. This is what I am right now. But let me know if you think there's some other ways. The main one that I'm looking at is that the Gambler could challenge it as well. So that's what I want to experiment with. I got to try it out, though, before I make a whole card. Here, Plant. Now, Plant is, this one definitely is a change, and you'll see why here in a second. But the thing with Plant is that it's an alien that is a great concept, but in practice, there's a lot of configurations of aliens where you're just like, it's not practical to graft another alien. So this is one where, the way it normally works is if you have a colony in somebody's system, you can take their power and use it, and then they can't use it while you're doing that. But some of these aliens, they just don't, it doesn't cleanly lend itself. So this, I think, is a better take on it. So let's take a look here. At the start of each regroup, you may, and this is the thing, you're doing this at regroup, whereas before you were waiting until, you were a main player, so it's going to be after Destiny. So at the start of each regroup, you may use this power to place a plant token on an alien sheet of any player in whose system you have a foreign colony. So it doesn't have to be your opponent, or it's whoever. It's whoever you've got a colony in. Or onto an alien sheet you have drawn as a seedling. So here's where I think it gets interesting. You steal that alien's power for the rest of the encounter and may use it as appropriate, preventing anyone else from using it. Now, if you're unable to steal an alien power, or if all seedlings already have plant tokens, draw an alien from those not in use. So this is going to bring another alien in, and it's going to become a seedling. And you'll place your plant token on it, and then you'll collect all plant tokens at the end of that encounter. So every time you get a new seedling, you're getting your tokens back. But if you're not getting a new seedling, so if I have grafted Blue's alien power, I can't graft it again until I have gotten a seedling. So I think it cleans up a lot of the interplay. It means that plant has got some extra flexibility, and I think it's a little more interesting. It makes it much more of a true meta alien, and that's what I like about it. All right, Sloth. So this is the first of a few from Cosmic Storm that I felt needed a little bit of juice to take them over the finish line. So, Power of Laziness. There's no game setup text here. You don't need to be like, you take the Sloth token. You know, we're using the model here for Grudge, which doesn't have startup text but has special tokens. So, as the offense or an ally, when you should send your ships into the encounter, use this power to either retrieve the Sloth token from the warp and not send ships, or send the Sloth token instead of deciding how many ships to commit. The Sloth token is not a ship. So after encounter cards are selected, but before they're revealed, you replace the Sloth token with 0 or 4 to 8 of your ships from any of your colonies. So this is a big change here. You could still do 0 with the regular Sloth, but you were up to 1 to 4, which was okay. But here, you're either not doing it or you're really going in. 4 to 8 of your ships from any of your colonies. Then return the Sloth token to the sheet. If you send 0 ships as the offense, you must still continue, blah, blah, blah. If you replace the Sloth token with 0 ships as an ally, you're no longer an ally. Whenever you should lose ships, you may send the Sloth token to the warp instead. So that's a nice way to say, like, yeah, I'm going to commit 8 ships, sure. And then if you lose, and the next time, or you've got the Sloth token back, so you can be like, well, I'm not going to lose them. I'm going to send the Sloth token. So then you have to either take the Sloth token out, which means you're not really using its effect that turn for the most part. So I think this makes Sloth much more interesting and much more competitive. And so that's my change to Sloth. Sycophant is mostly the same, but I wanted to put some skin in the game and give it some agency. So you still get the 10 tokens. You're still flattering. If you're not a main player after alliances are formed, you flatter one of the main players, even the person you're against, and if they win the encounter or make a deal, you discard a token from the sheet. So it's a countdown thing like TikTok. You're trying to count down to win the game. Now, if you are not correct, you remove any one of your ships on a colony from the game, placing it on the sheet. At any time, you may add a cosmic token to the sheet to return all of your ships on the sheet to any of your colonies. So if you are like really, you're flattering the wrong player a lot, and you're losing a lot of ships, you can say, all right, well, I'm going to add a token on here. So it works against you, but at least you're getting your ships back. And if there are no more tokens on the sheet, you win the game. You can still win the normal way. So I like the alt-win aliens a lot. I like the idea of alt-win aliens, but I really want them to be able to participate in their alt-win. So that was why I liked Genius, because it had something it could do to help it get to those that win condition of having a lot of encounter cards. And so all the alt-win aliens that I have worked on have gotten some kind of agency in there. So Neighbor is one of those aliens where at first glance you're like, oh, this sounds like a great effect. But the old one, it was counting on you attacking the same system over and over again because you're only using your ships in the system to add. So that, unless it's a 3-player game, it's just really not happening that much. So here it's very pithy, but you have the power of community as a main player ally. After the main player on your side reveals an attack card, you may use his power to add 1 to your side's total for each ship all other allies have in the targeted system that are not involved in the encounter. So you're making neighbors out of everybody who has got ships in that system. So it's not a matter of like, oh, lucky for me, I was able to attack blue 3 times in a row or 3 times in, a couple of turns. If anybody has. So it's not a huge boost, but it's definitely a much bigger effect. And the fact that it's all of the ships that all other allies. So again, it's going to be something that's better with more players in the game, but that's how I play. So Here we got Mouth. Mouth, I think, was a fine alien, but it needed a little bit of a tweak here. So as a main player, after alliances form, whenever a card will be placed in the discard pile by the opposing main player or their allies, you're going to gobble up the card, putting it on this sheet. At the end of the resolution phase, if there are 5 or more cards on the sheet, use this power to belch one of those cards back up for each foreign colony you have, placing it in your hand. So that's the thing, is before you were belching up one card, but here the further along into the game you are, the more cards you're going to get coming out of your mouth. So I think this is a little bit better. You're still waiting for there to be 5 or more cards on the sheet, but then you're going to really get some benefit out of it as the game goes on, which I think it needed. Coordinator was one that really just didn't feel like it was doing as much. It was letting you look at the top 3 cards of the Destiny deck, but here it's going to be a little more interesting. So power of efficiency. After starting hands are dealt, whenever you draw 1 or more cards from the top of any deck, you may use this power. Draw up to 2 extra, choosing one to use or gain as appropriate, the correct number from among those drawn, and then place the extra cards on the bottom of that deck. So if you're getting rewards, you're gonna draw 2 extra and then get a better sense of what you're getting. You're going to be able to do that with Destiny. You'll be able to do that with Tech, with whatever. So it's just a much better effect there. Here, oops, this guy should have been over there. So let's go over here. This big thing was I just changed the name to Gamer. That was really the only tweak there. You're still pooning ships and doing all the same effects. I thought the alien effect was fine, but I think calling it Arcade didn't really make sense. It was really wanted to be the Gamer, so that's what it is. All right, so Vox, this is the same tweak that Bill Martinson recommended. I think it's fine. It's still going up to 11, but you're doing it with a reveal attack card or with 1 played reinforcement card. Anything that has a value lower than 11, which is all of the reinforcements, but being able to change some attack cards to an 11. Yeah, it's just not that sexy. It's a fun idea. It's a funny concept, but really to be able to turn your reinforcement +3 into a +11, that is powerful. And so that's really where it's at. And then our last one, if we can, there we go, Phantasm. So I like Phantasm a while. I thought it was a great effect, but the problem with Phantasm, the original one, was when you draw a Negotiate, or you're like, hey, well, let's make a deal. You play that Negotiate, and then you're like, well, it's a mandatory power. I've still drawn from the top of the deck, and I'm having to. I can't make a deal, and that's really what I wanted to do. So here, if after the cards are revealed, if both are not Negotiates, use this power to reveal the top card. So that's really all it is, and that's why this one is also should have been in this pile over here. So there you have it. So those are some of the alt timeline ones. There's certainly other aliens that are not as powerful, but I don't have as much heartache about it as I think most players do. So I'm pretty happy with these. But again, the more I play and the more I think about it, the more I'm likely to say, like, yeah, let's change this here to that. There are a couple other aliens where I did fix the wording. But it was just mostly to clarify something, or if there was a typo, and really it was just like, it shouldn't have said that, it should have said this, or it was missing a little piece, nothing major. So there you have it. That's it. Let me know in the comments what you think of some of these concepts, and I know that there are people talking about, there's all kinds of crazy alt timelines. When we introduced this in Odyssey, I knew that it was a Pandora's box. Maybe not Pandora, but a little bit. I knew that a lot of people were going to start revisiting Aliens and saying, yeah, let's get in here. So, yeah, I haven't done this as much with my physical copy, although I do tend to say, hey, we're playing this, hey, we have Vox in here. I want to let you know when we're playing it physically that we instituted a change to Vox that makes it better. Nobody ever argues or like, oh, I don't want to do that. They're always like, no, it sounds good to me. So, because it's just hard to make good-looking alien sheets, and I don't like sleeving them. Ugh. So that's it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.